So, hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Tech Guy podcast. I hope you enjoyed the last week episode. I did tell that I do wanna improve my audio. I didn't. If you see that episode, it's like same as the previous one. What I mean by improving the audio was basically I am recording on my different. It's just I'm using Audacity now, so you can. I'm just try. I thought I would able to do, you know, kind of an good editing there, but I didn't, and it was delaying the episode, and eventually we are not on time always, but I am again trying and testing. I hope I make this kind of episode in terms of audio good, but it didn't. Sorry, but in terms of audio, I'm just trying and working on it. We are also working on an intro, just saying, but yeah, audio and here. But also I want to talk about the schedule of the podcast. Is that I know I have already said that the we are on track with Friday weekly podcast, but the point is we are not always on Friday. It's not that I am not able to record on Friday. It's just like everything has to go, has to be done, like notes and what the news that I'm going to talk about in actually in depth, and what not is also important. Also, the thing is the when you do everything yourself, there are some moments where like we have to push sometimes other, because there are some other works too, because I'm working on another channels, different multiple channels too. So if my podcast didn't get uploaded on Friday, which is not getting frequently, but if my podcast is not getting uploaded on Friday, wait till next 2 days, like Saturday or Sunday. Right now I'm recording on it Saturday and will be uploading it today only if I get it, or on Sunday according to my time. But I do want to give regular episodes rather than see. I don't want to be no episode rather than delayed episode. I can at least, okay, if the episode is delayed, it's okay. If episode is not there, it is going to affect not just the channel, but the things I'm going to say. If I delayed this week's episode, then the things I'm going to talk in this episode will or will not be able to get into the next editorial podcast episode in terms of notes and while I write it. So yeah, if you don't get episode on Friday, wait till Sunday. At least for now, I am going to be consistently uploading it on Friday, because I am working on another channel. You will soon get to know, and also working on audio. So yeah, let's get started with this week's episode. We are on episode number 16. Okay, we came a long way, but much more. Like I don't think we are stopping really soon. You know. So let's just get started with today's episode of the Tech Guy podcast. We have a couple of headlines this week. We have weekly AI news, couple of small AI news that I want to talk about, couple of last week continuing news. What are updates regarding those? Then there is uh, Nvidia GTC event happened. We will cover that in all AI weekly AI news only. Then we are also going to cover up the Apple's internal stuff about AI, and sooner or later it was going to happen. I'm not talking about the internal, that was obviously was going to happen, but as I predicted last week, I don't know if I don't think I said it in that episode, but Apple has been sued. We will talk much more further in the weekly AI section. But yeah, these are a couple of headlines that we are going to talk about in this episode of this podcast. So let's just get started. I think we will start. Let's start with the weekly AI news. Uh, let's start with a couple of small news. So Gemini introduced two new features in their web version, and it will be soon available in the all mobile app versions too. So basically they have introduced canvas, and the second is audio overviews. So basically, if you are much into using not extensively, but I will say, definitely say, at least if you are using it in terms of depth wise, in terms of brainstorming ideas, you know, for multiple stuff, um, then you would know Canvas. It is a feature that is already available in ChatGPT. It is also available in, I think, in Perplexity too, but I haven't used Perplexity that much as ChatGPT, OpenAI's. But what Canvas is basically, it is a editorial ground for you, you can say. So basically, for creating stuff like, let's say you want to have your week being scheduled according to this events, and let's say you want to organize it, how to save your time, how you can organize it well. If you type that prompt in that, it will open an editorial like Canvas kind of stuff. It is named in Canvas. So OpenAI's ChatGPT is it, I don't think they have openly. So it has specific Canvas option there to click, and you will go into Canvas mode. Basically what they have is, if you ask much in detail in terms of in terms of back and forth brainstorming, it will automatically open it. But here in Google Gemini, there is a button in the, whenever you type a when you type a prompt, there will be a button there. It will call as Canvas. When you click it, then you can much more often, it will, like, whenever you click it and write a prompt, it will display in a pop-up window like in a Canvas. I will show you a picture here for a good basic example. But Canva is kind of an editorial ground. So basically whatever you edit, whatever text in terms of highlight, whatever text brainstorming ideas you can do in there, edit stuff, kind of an bold, the multiple text formats are there in that, multiple stuff. And then you can make that into a document, like that is what is a good use of a Google Gemini is, it has access, like uh, Google has created this ecosystem like what Apple has, is where they have Google Docs, Google Sheets. You can just like make a document of it. Like if the text is ready in that Canvas, you can just click make a document, and it will make a document in Google Docs for you, which is just awesome. Is because the reason why it is just that good is because Google's multiple ecosystem apps where it is connected with your account. So basically if you do something and want to get into it documented in terms of docs, you can just get it by one click, and it will make you doc in the Google Docs, I think. Yeah, in Google Docs. That's just a great thing to have, because OpenAI doesn't have that, ChatGPT doesn't have that kind of stuff, but Google has a lot of stuff. They are just using it, I think. They are just like saving it for the right time, right amount. Like if they can push everything at one time, like they announce how everything, like this was announced like last year in Google I/O, but it is getting slowly integrated in Google Gemini. I think they are also working on it, what they are going to like launch, what they are going to save it for later future. But Google Canvas is optional. It's a good option. You can definitely try it on. It's a good feature to have. The second feature is audio overviews. So basically audio overviews is uh, basically, if you have followed Google I/O last year, when I also, I think, did a podcast over it. I think I remember. No, I didn't do podcast, but do I did write a newsletter piece about it, about whole Google I/O event. So basically, Google last year launched in Google Notebook LM, launched an audio version of a, let's say, of a document. So basically, whenever you upload a document on Google Gemini, it will turn that document into audio style format. So basically, whenever you ask stuff about, let's say you have, first of all, you have a book in a PDF form, you just upload that whole PDF to that. Let's say it's about Python coding, it's like about languages, computer languages, or even computer on the basics. You can just upload that PDF and ask one-to-one interactive questions. So basically it's like an teacher in front of you. So whenever you ask questions, it will give, it's like give and take feedback audio style format, which is really impressive if you have seen the demos last year. And then it was not launched for quite a long time, because I don't know, I was also following Google Notebook LM, which is actually good. That feature was totally blew my mind when I first of all saw it. And then it never came into Gemini when the Gemini was announced, and it was kind of an forgetting for a lot of people, even me. Is like, when there is so much delay in some kind of stuff, we just forget it. And like not I actually don't get forget, because I remember I have covered it. But people generally, if they are amazed by those kind of stuff and they didn't get it, they kind of get forget about those kind of stuff. So that is a good stuff. It's like an audio style interaction with the AI, which is quite good. It is still coming to everyone. It is still I haven't still used it. It will be available in, it is will be available both on the web version and also on the mobile version, which is good. uh, the audio overview is also actually really good in terms of, let's say you have uh, written a prompt and it has given you an answer, but you just don't want to read that answers or like whatever it has given. Then you can again turn the audio overview on and just have one-to-one conversation with the AI and asking questions, and it will give you answer back and forth according to the what conversations you are having. So it is, those two good features have been added. It will be much more like uh, in the next week coming. I think all iOS, Android devices, it will be available on mobile apps and even web version if you are using web version of Gemini app. So let's talk about GTC, Nvidia GTC 2025 highlight. So basically Nvidia GTC is basically uh, mm, a yearly event kind of an happen. I think last year it did happen, because the thing is, we just started from the last year. So I'm just finding out, this is like first time for me, Nvidia GTC. Again, if you are not familiar with it, it is totally different from what is it was from CES. It is not kind of an announcement, it is kind of an in-depth kind of an conference, you can say, but with public, like what is happening in their company, what they are working on, what they have been progressing, kind of an, a yearly progress result card, you can say. And also they have been pretty good with, Nvidia has been pretty good with having those one-to-one conversation because of obviously Jensen. So he is kind of a really good speaker, I will say. Like I didn't get bored like more than, like, it was 2 hours of a conference, like I was watching it. So we are not going to cover most of it, because I don't want to go in depth for right now with Nvidia, because in future there is going to be an in-depth podcast and a video about Nvidia and what they are working on multiple GPUs, AI stuff in terms of hardware, software. So couple of 4 points that they have highlighted in their uh, you can say on their overall event, and I will tell you a couple of them here. And also I will link down the whole events video, or even I will link down the whole website blog that they have written. So couple of interesting points you should know. That the first point, 1 trillion computing inflation point. So basically Jensen, when he first came on stage, he talked about predicting that the computing inflecting point. So basically it is kind of an demand regarding computing chip regarding in AI. So basically that they have predicted that it is going to be $1 trillion economy kind of a thing. So it is quite a bit bold prediction from them, but if you see the numbers, it definitely is happening, you know. Specifically the way that they have shown charts in the event, where they only took couple of like 4 to 5 companies and predicted those inflection point. So it is pretty much in the next 4 years, it is going 4 to 5 years, it is going to be $1 trillion. um, Cloud service, so basically computing means cloud servicing, like what chip computing chip is. So basically servers regarding all around the world. So that is one thing. Nvidia Blackwell chip is in full production, they said in the event. So Nvidia Blackwell is kind of an their ultimate chip that most of the people are using, and it is like most of the people, I mean most of the AI companies, mostly like Gore, OpenAI, even Google, Meta are using Nvidia's Blackwell chip, which is, we can go in depth in next couple of podcasts, but it is kind of an height you can achieve, what you can get at least for now, in terms of training AI models and making it further improvement. And a couple again, Nvidia will follow an annual rhythm for build out of AI infrastructure. So basically now onwards from this year, I think they are going to follow yearly features, yearly AI infrastructure features they are going to plan out, rather than doing it multiple years in one time, I think. Then physical AI industry or robotics is going to be $50 trillion opportunity. So he predicted that, so basically Nvidia predicted that robotics and physical hardware AI is going to be $50 trillion economy in coming years. So if you don't know, lot of computing is going, and lot of humanoid robots, lot of non-humanoid robots too. Like if you have watched that clip of Jensen having a chat with the blue, that robot name is Blue, in the end of the event, that is kind of a version of an Wall-E, you can see. That robot is non-humanoid, but it is kind of a conceptual robot that is being made from what Wall-E was. It is basically is being made in terms of Disney is making those kind of stuff. I will link down also the Cleo Abrams video where she did and tour in terms of in Disney products that they are making, like lightsaber and those robots. But robot and humanoid robot, we all know that last year I also covered that humanoid robot, like Tesla is working with their robots. Then there is Boston Dynamics is working their humanoid shape robot, like even Nvidia is working. So a lot of humanoid projects are going on, and then Nvidia has said that it is like it's a growing economy. So I think if anyone just wants to get into the robotics, and even like that future is there, it is coming. And most like lots of company will be getting demand. So if you are kind of doing an engineer, like want to know the, like, you know, want to know what is going to happen, like couple of things that they have predicted in this event can be happen. Like it is not that we can't see that, but whenever a company like Nvidia, like this kind of big Nvidia like company says this kind of stuff, it just gives you more kind of an assurance, you know. So if you are an entrepreneur or businessman who wants to start business, who wants to do investments, or even you are like a student who wants to choose a career path in engineering, you know, you can choose definitely robotics. AI is definitely there, but just see like how AI is, just because the improvement in AI, how other medical or, you know, even robotics, humanoid stuff are going to get much more bigger as a kind of an economy than you will ever know. So be the part of it. You can see the changes as even this year, like it is a long term thing, like 5 to 10 years, but companies are starting from now, and much more new companies, much more new startups will definitely start from this. So that is it for keynote. I will definitely cover more of Nvidia in future. I also like their CES 2025, and this year also their GTC 2025 was actually good. I'm definitely going to cover up a lot of things to let you guys know what they are getting into. Like they are doing definitely really good stuff into the how we are going to train AI models, like how, like what kind of problems we are facing now and we will be facing in future, like about how humanoid, like humans data will be not enough to train the like AI models needs to be trained on infinite, like that level of data that is not even, if you even collect the all humans data that we have, it is not going to be enough for to train that AIs and AI models in future, or even AI infrastructure, AI robots, robotics. So they are definitely doing good stuff in terms of their how we can create new data sets, data, how like their omniverse stuff, and how like in terms of storage wise is AI is going to play a lot of good stuff, good part in those all the kind of stuff, because it is going to affect a lot of technology in terms of good way in future. So it is it for right now. We will continue much more in depth in next couple of podcasts. I hope I do it. So next news is again, which should not like I said in the start of the podcast, which should not be kind of and rough, or definitely it is like we all saw this coming, but I was like, who is doing first? So basically last week we talked about how AI, Apple Intelligence, now we are talking about Apple Intelligence, how it was delayed, and I talk about how is it even good to market stuff about if that product is not even going to be in the, like Apple marketed so much about Apple Intelligence, and especially in their 16 lineup, and the Apple Intelligence has not even came out, and it was like it was so much, like we already know it was not going to come out at the exact moment where Apple launched in October, when they launched the new iPhone 16 lineup, but we know that at least it is going to come in Jan, or even like in this kind of month in March we will be getting the full Siri experience of Apple Intelligence, but we didn't get it, and people were definitely disappointed. I talked about it much more detail in the last podcast, you can go check it out. So now a law firm has sued Apple for basically scamming their customers, you can say. So Apple has been sued from Clarkson law firm, which is the same law firm who sued Google and OpenAI ever when they were having AI malpractices. So I will also link down that in the description below about in depth if you want to go. I just want to say I was just shocked that no one is suing Apple over this kind of stuff, because I was like, how people are like silent about this kind of stuff where it is happening so much, but in terms of in your face. So Apple is getting sued. That is a follow-up news from last week I want to talk about. uh, I don't think it is going to be uh, again it's a case, it is going to be a long-term kind of a solution, or Apple has done outside court settlements, uh, whoever has basically uh, has done court, who has sued Apple before. But if you have seen Apple, they have done basically outside court settlement. I think this is going to be that stuff, like Apple know they are not going to win this case. I personally think so they are going to settle with Clarkson law firm in couple of $1 million outside the court, I think, and they are going to get big bucks. But ultimately it is nothing in they can do, I think, or they can or they will just do and make the or they will just like get the dates and move the court appeal further and further, so they can get more and much more time towards their making product good. But yeah, I think this is it for weekly AI news. And at last, if you use YouTube Music has announced AI radio generator will be soon. Radio generator, AI radio generator will be soon available to iOS YouTube Music. Whoever uses YouTube Music, I don't, but a radio generator is basically kind of an, according to your stuff, whatever you liked on YouTube, it will play, it will generate you your own video. I don't know how it works, I haven't used it, not many people have talked about it. I will definitely see how, like, because I don't use YouTube. I do have YouTube Music on my phone, but I don't use it. I much much I think I use Spotify and Amazon Music. That's it. So that's it for, I think, this week's weekly AI news. I think we will take a short break here, and after a short break we will talk about a couple of things, ID verification stuff, and again Apple, kind of an Apple stuff that we have gotten some updates this week. So after a short break we will be right back. Hello everyone, hope you guys are enjoying this podcast. But if you are much of a reader than listening to this hour-long podcast, I have got it perfectly covered in those cases too, with my own Monday weekly news on my own newsletter, where I will be curated news that in the tech industry by myself, with short contextual base, which will be better to understand for everyone. And the best part about it, it's free and always will be. It's short, simple, easy to understand, and covering all the major topics in the tech industry, which is up to date. So it has its own perks, and I will highly recommend do go and subscribe to my own newsletter. That is, the link will be down in the description. So let's talk about some stuff I wanted to, like, I have talked a bits and stuff here and there, and most majorly I have talked this kind of topic, this topic specifically, on when we covered about when Australia government passed a law regarding how they are going to ban social media, and yeah, how they are going to ban social media, which was, we covered a lot there, and we also talk about what kind of solutions there can be. We also talk about what is wrong with, from both sides, definitely. But again, this, the reason why I'm bringing that conversation and again further is because what happened last week, I got a news, not I got, definitely when I was searching for a couple of news headlines to talk about from this, like in this podcast. So if you don't know, there is an app called Bumble, which is kind of a dating app, which Bumble started ID verification for the first time this last week. Now, if you, like, it is an kind of an optional, not an default, like it is not a necessary stuff. So basically, if you do ID verification, you will get a specific special mark in front of your, I think, in name. So you know that person is legitimate, at least in terms of, like, he has proven that he is that same person and not scamming anyone, like with fake photos or stuff. So ID verification can be done on Bumble by government or government documents, like such as, I think, ID. I I don't know what kind of document. I think passport is one of them. Couple of them were there when they uh, 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 couple of them were there, and you have to take the photo of it, I think, and submit it to Bumble, and they will verify it and definitely give that you a tick mark. So basically, it's kind of an ID verification stuff. So when it comes to ID verification, I talk about same when Australian government also wanted to know, is like they wanted to, when they wanted to ban social media people, like at least for teenagers under 16. They wanted to, like, people were so there were group of people on the internet where they were not happy, like why government needs our IDs. First of all, do they need, like, we don't want to give our information, those kind of stuff. And even not even those to the government, but also to the social media platform. So it is one of kind of a major issue in terms of social media that is happening, because you know it is so much easy to make an account, and like it is so much easy to make an account and make a fake account especially, and there is no stopping it. Like I remember when I had to make a new account for my new Instagram account for my The Tech Guy channel. It like it was not even for 2 minutes. It didn't take me even 2 minutes to make a new account. Like it didn't even ask me, it's like, why you are making an second account, why you are making an this new account which is this name. Is like, there were no safety provisions when you are making a new multiple accounts, like even if it's from the same device, like, you know so it is easy to make accounts, and it it it, it definitely brings lot of bad malpractices done on not just social media overall, but on every kind of platform which has presence on the internet, when there is easy to make accounts. So government ID verification, I am mostly, whenever that topic came up, where I was talking in the when there in the last couple of podcasts about when the Australia banned the social media for under teens, which is still not in effect. The social media is not banned in Australia. I don't know what is happening. Again, it is just passed. The bill has been just passed, but it has not been implemented. So if they would have banned social media, the news much could have been much bigger, and a lot of people would have talked about it. But I checked before making this podcast that there is no news regarding it. Like there is no, not even an update what is going on in there. But yeah, but the reason I wanted to talk about is like how we can tackle fake accounts, bot accounts, you know and how government ID is kind of a big step towards like having a legitimate accounts on the internet, like knowing that it is not a fake person. Like people still to this date in 2025 are getting scammed by celebrity fake accounts, celebrity accounts that demands money, demands some kind of stuff to do from them in DMs, especially on Instagram. I have seen happening lots of stories on even Twitter. A lot of accounts get hacked, and in the name of trusted accounts that you have followed, you get like hacking is like other kind of stuff, but at least bot stuff. Like you never know, like there are a lot of people do get scammed, and there are a lot of people, even if after giving so much education regarding social media and regarding kind of stuff like not listening to whatever DMs you have, which is unknown DMs from celebrities, not just celebrities, lot of stuff like threatening people, blackmailing kind of a stuff, which is definitely not a uh, easy task. Like for me, I was like it was easy to tackle those kind of stuff, but for a lot of people out there, which is definitely not easy to do tackle those kind of stuff. So my point was, when this was whole stuff happening with the Australian government, and especially last year when I started making this news, when this podcast, my newsletter, you know and because I have to get in the crux of every news, so I'm on social media, especially on Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, even Instagram here and there sometimes. But I'm there and know what kind of fake account stuff happens there. You know, I have to get into every story of the crux because I have to report it. I have to talk about this in the podcast. If there is stuff kind of happening in terms of that can be helpful to people to get to know. And the thing is, there is, what is the solution there? What is going to be solution uh, where you know we never know if that person in front of you, like what he has commented on your post, DM'd you, or even you asking about like phishing, those kind of stuff, like asking you about money, blackmailing you, is even a real person or just a bot who has done thousands of messages to those all kind of people, or even tackling fake accounts, like fake people and stopping those accounts, which is really hard, you know uh, but I was also thinking what were the solutions regarding this. But as like there are two solutions, I think, at least for now, for at least where the things I've seen. So, not making it easy for, like, social media companies. Like, we know, like, there are always will be positive and negative sides, and even social media companies, their CEOs, they talked about how social media has changed the landscape, and no one is denying that. No one is denying that Twitter has helped billions of people in terms of getting into knowing what is happening. Twitter, Instagram has millions, hundreds of millions of creators are on their Instagram, which has become their form of creativity to express themselves. But we also should also acknowledge, it doesn't mean that something is good, isn't something bad which we should not report. There we always should be tackling those stuff, and we should always asking everything, like ask everything kind of a mindset, like regarding, like asking the right questions to those people. And yeah, those people are definitely responsible for the stuff that is happening. They could have been avoided, because it's not that we are the at level 1 of social media, like year 1 or year 2. It has been more than 10 years that we are on social media, and there has been so many less stuff that is happening around, protecting children's teenagers about this kind of stuff, especially teenagers. And one of the solutions that I have definitely came up with was make it difficult to, make accounts, like I said earlier, like it take me just more than, like, not more than 2 minutes to make an Instagram new account. And I was like, you are not even going to ask me why I'm making my second account. So those kind of stuff, and which is definitely kind of an, you know uh, concerning, when you can see that it is so easy to make accounts, and you will never know if the person next that you're watching on your screen is it even a real person, or a bot, or people, or a person that is just here to scam you, just making multiple accounts, scamming multiple peoples in any way possible. And uh, one of the solutions that these companies definitely can do is making it hard to make these social media accounts, like getting more information. If he or she, like I talked about in the last episode, how it takes so many years after they are now implementing teenage, like teenage accounts on Instagram, or even on teen safety stuff on um, TikTok. They they introduced last week. Like, I was like, my question was to those companies, like, why it was so much late to make this kind of stuff to happen. Like, they were so much around regarding the positive stuff, making profits around it, and they never thought about the negative stuff. You know, like the people that are getting affected throughout it. And it is definitely concerning. And definitely, rather than blaming people, rather than blaming government, that rather than blaming even other companies, like what Facebook does always, i will i'm I'm that kind of a person who is like, be the part of the solution, dude. It's like if Facebook is not happy with what Apple is doing and just wants to play the blame game with each other, you are never going to be, yeah, like there is never going to be the solution for this kind of problems. And they always do this kind of companies trying to play blame game. But until recently, like past 6 months on Instagram, and at least in YouTube, not YouTube, but at least in TikTok, they have introduced teens accounts. So teens safety measures has been taken in part, and I was just happy it is just been start for something new. But the first stuff I talk about, the first solution was to make how we can make it too difficult to, not just difficult to make that person legitimate who is making that account, rather than giving him free stuff like, oh, you have access, you have created that account in just 2 minutes. My second solution was, why not government IDs? Because I know a lot of people are upset about why social media companies need our government IDs. A lot of people on the internet also think about that we do not want to give government IDs. But I think there should be definitely an option to verify yourself in terms of legitimacy. So when Bumble, yes, Bumble introduced, there is an option you can, if you have done, or it is like, it is not a default you have to do that, but if you have an option to verify yourself with a government ID which legitimize your presence on the internet, like you are not a fake person trying to do, you are legitimate, like you have submitted your government like ID to the social media platform, that getting that tick means you are at least uh, a, a person at least, you know but again, I know there can be loopholes in that structure too. But I think there is a good solution there in terms of when it comes to government IDs. The reason why, you know when, like in India, there is something called DigiLocker. So DigiLocker is kind of a government digital locker, where you store your documents regarding basic documents. You can store your in that DigiLocker. And so whenever a person, in terms of, let's say, police officer asks you about your, or even in regarding places in government officers ask you about, let's say, your documents, and you don't have that physical documents, the but if you have that physical documents on in your DigiLocker, which is government based stuff, which is stored in their digital locker like a cloud base, then if you show that, okay, they know that you have that document verified. Because DigiLocker is kind of a stuff which verifies your stuff and stores itself, which is again done by the government. So I was like hoping, if why can't we do those kind of stuff, like why can't we do a tie-up like this kind of stuff, where where a social media platform like Instagram, if you want to verify if that person, link that person with DigiLocker and use that information, and just like, if that person is legitimate what he's doing with, in terms of information, then from the DigiLocker, then it's definitely going to be easy for even, I think, social media companies to verify the things, people, fake account, bots, kind of stuff. So like these were the two solutions I came up with this week. I think, like make it hard to make those kind of accounts. And I like, it pisses me off when these social media companies is like play the blame game, like Apple is blaming Facebook, like we want to protect our users and Apple will not do it. Then Facebook is blaming Apple. I'm like, in your blame game there is going to be a teenager or teens or even an adult who is getting scammed there in your own platform. So rather than playing blame game, please do stuff. You are you are better than the government, the politics. Like, you are here not to play political stuff. You are here people who are building something new, which is good, which can be in a good way done be can be done in a good way. I hope they make it. In future, I hope we just get much more secure stuff about, especially for teenagers, especially getting scams for teenagers on online media, which is so bad to have, you know. And I'm not even talking about the scams. There are so many stuff that can happen. Is It's just like I'm talking the surface level here. So I hope they just get the big, you know kind like the amount of information that children are getting access towards kind of stuff, and there is no moderation towards it. Like, there is a lot of stuff happening, but at least we should start at level 0 rather than nothing. At least level 0 is something. And I think a teens account, TikTok, what the features they have introduced, and Instagram teens account is at least level 0. But we have to work fast on it. At least every year there should be a kind of a big update on level 0 or level 1. If we can make it happen to go to level 1 next year, have moderation on this kind of stuff. Because, like, in the name of something kind of an, when Elon Musk says in the name of free speech, we don't want our children to go on the Twitter and see stuff like pornography, or even stuff like, lots of violent stuff that is not moderated for our children. We don't want that on the Instagram, where the content is not moderated regarding, if, like, I don't know how they moderate those kind of stuff. Like, there should be kind of a filter, there should be kind of an stuff securing people. That's it. No one is asking any much more than, like, it's kind of a safety net. So I hope they do it. But let's talk about something that we got update. Again, we are going to talk about Apple Intelligence. So Apple Intelligence, last week we talked about how they are going to get delayed, what is happening internally. We didn't know what was happening. And so basically what happened last week, again I'm going to recap. It is basically Apple Intelligence has been delayed for indefinite time. It is not even ready. They have scrapped and started from 0. So basically they did an internal meeting. So it was again a rumor, or you can say, this news is based from Mark Gurman's tweet. If you don't know Mark Gurman, he is kind of a guy who reports this kind of stuff. I will link down his Twitter account and Bloomberg. Again, Mark Gurman works on Bloomberg. Okay, sorry, but I will link down those stuff in the link down in the description. Thanks to him, we know this kind of internal stuff regarding whatever is happening, not just in Apple but lots of things. But yeah, so Mike Rockwell, head of Vision Products. So basically Vision Products means, like, what is Vision Pro right now? That is Vision. It comes under Vision Product. Vision Pro comes under Vision Product Group. So Mike Rockwell, who is the head of Vision Products Group and creator of Vision Pro, is going to take the Siri team. So basically Siri team, he's going to go and take over the Siri team, and the guy who was working on Siri team is going to just work overall on the main AI stuff, but he is not going to work on Siri. Mike is going to work on Siri from this week. They had a meeting last week. So when you see this kind of stuff, it is, again, we don't know if it's a rumor. I think again it is done by Mark Gurman. I trust him. So Apple, again, like last week, how I said is, like, Apple is not ignorant. Apple will definitely move forward and strike back again. Like, it's kind of a solution, they have to solve it. So I like the response that it was quick, that they had to do something, so they removed the guy who was working again from the team and put a new guy which is capable of doing it, which I don't know personally. Like, I don't know these guys, like I don't know how they have worked in the past. But again, like I say, like Apple is not ignorant, and they are definitely going to work on Siri till the June WWDC 2025 this year, because it is going to be tough to make Siri at what they have promised in the last year. Because you know, now as OpenAI launch, if you know, like I said again, there how I talked about OpenAI's partnership with Apple, which is again is in the name. Nothing is more than just, it's like it's kind of just in integration, it's just in the name. There is nothing going on in terms of partnership. They are nothing working on together, at least that we have seen, because OpenAI is progressing further and further with their contextual based AI voice assistants, with new versions of GPTs and new developer tools that is available for everyone to use. You know, APIs. Now last week, couple of days ago, they did a developer again a video conference, I think, where they launched new I think voice assistant APIs for people who want to develop stuff. So they are moving so much forward in terms of that. And you know, I was thinking, like, if they are having kind of a partnership, I thought Apple would use OpenAI's voice assistant kind of stuff and build Siri on top of OpenAI's build Siri on top of OpenAI stuff, whatever they have, and with Apple Intelligence, whatever they are trying to make from the ground zero, and it would have been just kind of a better, kind of their own personalized way, you know. But it didn't happen, and I was just shocked that it didn't happen. But you know, what I was thinking when, you know, when they replace again a guy with this kind of stuff was like, is like, are they even capable of making, like, they have, I think this is March ongoing, March, April, May, they just have 3 to 4 months to cover this whole backlog of stuff that they are behind Siri. You know, we are like Siri, like there was a joke that is not even joke, but like someone asked Siri what month that is going on, and Siri can't even answer that. That is how bad Siri is right now. I don't know what basic stuff that Siri does. Is like I don't want, like I started Siri using much more, like in terms of basic word, but I have just stopped it. You know, like it, like sometimes, you know, when you use other voice assistants, they are so good, and you see again here Siri, which is not even getting contextual language better. But yeah, I'm not gonna talk about again same stuff that we talked about last week. But Apple, again, like I said, is not ignorant. Rather than speculating what is going on, like, I do not wanted to go into what internal stuff is happening in company. Like, are they having chat of, or like in the company, like who we are going to fire. I was not just interested in that. Again, I just got, like, I just wanted to give a news regarding the new Mike Rockwell person is the head of Siri now, which will lead the Siri team till 2025 WWDC. We will definitely get new Siri update, I will definitely say, because I don't think they are going to announce Siri in next iOS 18 update. Definitely not. Or they can do full rebranding and rebranding of Siri and come back with, like, I don't think they need a new good event. Like, they can include in WWDC, like, because in May there is Google I/O. They can do kind of a competition with them, but no, they can launch. I think definitely they will launch WWDC 2025. Like, if what we are seeing, if it's true, like the news regarding that Siri has been scrapped and they are going to start again from zero, ground zero, I don't think they have much time, and they will definitely utilize as much as time till this year's WWDC. Um, Again, we still don't know they are going to go with OpenAI's route. Like, are they going to use OpenAI's assets as they have partnered with them, or are they just going to with their own? We don't know. Most likely I would like to them to use OpenAI's assets regarding voice assistant. At least their contextual behavior, the way they talk it, the speech recognition stuff, which is definitely not even close to what series. Like, they are way ahead. Google Gemini is way ahead. It's like, I'm just interested this year what is going to happen in Google I/O. It's because, again, like I said in the start of this year in January, in a podcast I talk about how this year is going to be AI assistant, the year of AI assistants. So I hope this year we get lot of stuff regarding new AI assistants, like new upgrade AI assistants. Like, we got about Alexa Plus last week, and now we are going to get Google I/O next couple of months in May month. So I'm just interesting to know what new stuff that is happening in voice assistant stuff. I'm just surprised there is no other company that is building uh, voice assistants, not just a singular voice assistant kind of a software stuff, but not integrating voice assistant well. Like, there can be so many good voice assistants now because of how OpenAI is giving just APIs to other companies. You know, it's like car assistants can be such a good thing to have. Like, even if they don't have, like, even if they use CarPlay or Apple CarPlay or Apple Play, but if they can have their own assistants, which can be a definitely good thing to have, I will say. So let's see what happens in voices, and let's see what happens with Apple. I'm not going to stress this part much more, because it was just, again, kind of an update I wanted to give, not much kind of an in detail. This week we definitely didn't talk in terms of detail I wanted to talk, but there were just couple of small updates regarding stuff. And again, you know, when it comes to news, if you want to cover me, like, again, what I have always said is that if you want to cover up if you want me to cover up some news regarding stuff, just let me down in the comment section, because uh, uh, if you are interested in some stuff, because what happens is, like, I know major 99% of the stuff. I know what is happening in tech industry, because I do note down a lot of stuff, but from that lot of stuff that I only talk couple of them in term, like, when I just edit stuff, when it comes to like, I'm my own editor here, my own editor stuff regarding my notes that I make it in the podcast and what I talk in here. So if you want me something to cover about something that is going on, do let me know. And if there is something big that is happening, we are definitely covering it. So that's it, I think. Yeah. Again, a new thing that it is not a new thing, but that happens in the most of the podcast, but I'm going to start from this week for this podcast too. So what we are going to do is, we are going to make in the description a section called show notes. So basically, in that show notes, there will be whole the whatever the points I have talked, and regarding resources or sources about what the stuff I have talked, I will be link that stuff down in the description. So basically, like I talk in this episode about Mark Gurman's tweet, Mark Bloomberg's account, same is going to happen, that those links will be down in the description, so you don't have to go anywhere, and just don't have to trust me. Like you can just go and double check what I talked. And if I don't mention those kind of stuff, like if there are no show notes in the description, please let me know, because while editing and uploading the podcast, making thumbnails, I can miss that stuff. I can add show notes again later, uh, in the in next couple of days, if I didn't do right at the upload. But if I didn't do it, let me down in the comment section, okay, about that. Yeah, and I think that's it for this week podcast. I will meet you in the next week. Regarding, we are going to talk, if they are not kind of a big stuff that is happening next week, I think we will talk about callback stuff, like my experience regarding what is happening, like um, I talk about like the search, OpenAI new search, perplexity, like kind of, and my experience regarding OpenAI. Then we are going to definitely talk about Nvidia, that is going, what is going happening in Nvidia next week also, if there are no kind of a big stuff. So yeah, that's it for this week episode of the Tech Guy podcast. I will see you guys in the next week. I hope you guys enjoy it.